right. I'm your host, St. V by AB, and just want to talk about Michigan, Michigan State rivalry game yesterday, played in East Lansing. I just don't understand why we can't win these big games, and it all goes down to what I believe the disparity in the coaching. I truly believe that Mel Tucker is head over heels a better coach than Jim Harbaugh. And I'll tell you why. I feel like Mel Tucker can take a culture kind of like Nick Saban and he can inject this energy, this belief in all of his kids that no matter what the score is, no matter what's going on, they're going to continue to fight. And they take on that same persona. You always hear the team takes on the persona of the coach. It takes on the personality of the coach. And you can see that in Alabama. You can see that, with numerous coaches, great coaches, where the team takes on the demeanor of the coach. And I believe that's why Michigan State won that game yesterday. It was more of the intangible than anything. And the thing that I have a problem with in Jim Harbaugh is that in big games, he's 2-9 versus AP opponents on the road. We pay you millions of dollars to come to Michigan and to make this program relevant again, winning the conversation of Big Ten championships and possibly a national championship, and you can't beat the team down the road. That's a problem. And I'm going to say this on the contrary of how we take on how Michigan State has taken on the personality of Mel Tucker. I believe that Michigan, as a team, as a whole, has taken on that same persona from Jim Harbaugh. That conservative, play not to lose mentality, and it goes down to coaching. At the end of the day, I'm not blaming the kids. What I'm saying is, we're put in these positions to where we can the game is teetering, and we lay an egg. It's a stinker. Whereas Michigan State, Ohio State, they respond in these situations and they win these games. And it's difficult because I don't think Jim Harbaugh is a bad coach. But as far as elite coach, no, I don't think he's elite. I think the Nick Sabans of the world, they're elite. I think you got to look at Dabo Swinney. He's elite, even though Clemson is struggling this year. These are guys in the with Urban Meyer, obviously. Ryan Day, I believe, is in that conversation now with Ohio State and what they're doing. But really, he's just taking the Urban Meyer team. But I truly feel that those coaches could take their players and take them to an elite level because of the coaching staff that they put together. And in those critical situations, they make sure that their guys are ready to execute. They're prepared through practice. And that's the difference right now between Michigan and the elite teams in in NCAA football. I mean, even in the Big Ten East, Michigan State right now has that culture. And I know I kind of delved right into the coaches, but I believe that was the reason why Michigan State won the game yesterday. I'm a Michigan fan, but I picked Michigan State to win the game by 3. They won by 4. I thought that we wouldn't be aggressive enough and taking too many shots downfield. We actually did. McLemore played great. He had 383 yards passing. Obviously, he had the critical turnover at the end. However, I believe that he played a really good game. One play doesn't dictate a game, so I'm not going to, harp on him too much. There was just, to me, from a coaching staff, you got to leave McLemore in there. He's doing well. Granted, backup came in. JJ did well. However, if JJ comes in just to hand the ball off, won't you just leave McLemore in? And then he already fumbled on the previous drive, and then you put him in the next drive. So to hand the ball off, he's a freshman. He's still trying to understand how critical a situation is. He's still young. So in that situation, just put McLemore in and leave him in. You're playing this quarterback carousel. I understand you're trying to get big plays and you want to get both of those guys in there. However, in a critical situation like that, you're up 3. You only got 7 minutes to go. You ride your quarterback that's been doing well, the hot hand. He's been making all the right plays, all the right reads. I think if you leave him in there, you give yourself a better chance to win the game. You can live with that. Hindsight is 2020. JJ hands that ball off. We don't fumble the ball. We're not even having this conversation. I think we put the game away. However, it didn't happen. Another point of emphasis I want to talk about, uh, even though I am proud of our McLemore, the way he played versus Michigan State. Michigan State's defensive backfield is horrendous, but I'm glad we were able to exploit it. It lets me know we can throw the ball down the field. McLemore was pretty accurate for the day. I still want him to get better at completing passes in the red zone. We got to finish those drives. Too many field goals. Got to finish that off, especially with a defense like that. You got to make those passes. Got to make those plays. Those field goals should be touchdowns, especially against a deficient defense such as Michigan State's. The next point of emphasis I want to talk about is our defense. Our defense played absolutely the worst game they played all year. And you did it in a rivalry game against a guy who you can't fall asleep against. You have to stay, you have to have gap integrity. We didn't have any gap integrity. We didn't wrap up. We were not ready for what Michigan State was going to do from the run game standpoint, but we knew that this guy was capable of doing what he did yesterday. Another problem I have with the defense is coaching. Again, it goes back to the coaching. Why are you substituting in the middle of the game when Michigan State is not substituting and they're running the play? They're intentionally trying to get the play called because they already know that you're not set. Though we gave up 2 touchdowns just because we weren't even set for the play. So if we're even set, I think we stop those plays. Instead of 5 touchdowns, he has 3. But yet, we give up those touchdowns, critical errors, critical mistakes. And it's just, again, it's coaching. It goes back to that coaching piece. Us not being prepared like Michigan State's coaches prepared their kids, prepared them in the sense of, we didn't prepare our kids to be successful in those situations because they weren't even lined up, because we were trying to get the personnel in there. And Michigan State knew that we were going to do that. They saw something on film, and they exploited it. Kenneth Walker, I got to take my hat off to him, even though how hard it is to say this. I believe he is front runner for the Heisman Trophy after that performance yesterday. He had 195 yards, 5 touchdowns, did exceptionally well against our defense. We were supposed to be number 2 ranked defense in the country. I couldn't tell yesterday. He made us look real average. He was running through our defense like Swiss cheese. At this point, it's disappointing because we get in these big games and we don't step up like we need to. So it's just frustrating at this point to see that after 6, 7 years of hardball, we have yet to win these big games consistently. And we're 2-9 again against the AP, the top 8, the top teams in the top 10. We're 2-9, and on the road. And it's one of those things where if you want to be a great football team, you want to be elite, you have to win on the road. Alabama does it all the time. They'll have a loss here and there, but for the most part, they always bounce back and they dominate the teams that they play. We don't dominate. The problem is we have the capabilities to dominate. I believe we have the players to do it, but we don't. Our coaches, again, lack the sense of urgency to make the right decisions in critical moments and win the big games. And that's hardballs. That's one of the things that I kind of had a hard time with him, just because I've seen him lose big game after big game, and it's not changing. His record versus Michigan State, I want to say there in 7 years, he's 3-4. Okay, I mean, come on, you're 0-6 versus Ohio State. You haven't won a game, so why are you paying millions of dollars? I'm not going to sit here and blame our kids. Like, don't get me wrong. I think we made some mistakes on the field. But, again, I think the root cause of this issue is the coaching in the lack of preparation or the lack of ability to win these big games. And it's been like this for the Harbaugh tenure. It's been like this the whole time. So we laid a stinker yesterday. So we gave that away. Straight gift wrapped it. It ain't even Christmas yet. We gave that thing. So where do we go from here? We got Indiana next week. I would like to see Andrew Anthony from Lansing, Michigan. You know, Andrell, I'm so excited to see the progress that he's made. You know, he didn't play very much. This is number one for Michigan. And to see him have his breakout game in his hometown was pretty exciting. I got opportunity to coach against Andrell when he played Little League football. I was coaching a team by the name of Kappa Express, and he was playing for the Lansing Warriors. And we played them in the championship. He had a really good game. Surprisingly, we beat them. He was playing quarterback, but I knew from then that kid was going to be something special. And to see him doing it on the highest level is pretty exciting. I'm elated, and I'm excited for the kid. And I think he's going to be one of the next great wide receivers that we're number one at Michigan. So let's give a round of applause for that. And here's the thing. I think that we need to concentrate on getting him the ball and trusting McLemore to get the ball on the outside to our playmakers. Him and Johnson, I think, have a 1-2 combo that's good, and we can still run the ball. But I think I took a lot of small wins out of the game yesterday. I thought that our receivers played well. I thought our special teams did well, other than the punt. We muffed the punt, and then we had to run it. But I love what our receivers were doing on the outside. I think we have some talent. I think he's got to open it up. You know, Coach Gaddis he got to open it up because you got talent, and we're gonna have to do that to beat these teams. We're gonna have to open it up to beat a Penn State, to even have a chance of beating Ohio State. We're gonna have to throw the ball, but the good thing is, we know that McLemore can make those throws. And, you know, we're not out of it. We got one loss. We control our destiny. Granted, Michigan State, we're going to need them to slip up, but I think they're going to slip up versus Ohio State or Penn State. You know, they're coming off a high. They could lay an egg. They could lay a stinker against, you know, a Purdue, a team like that. I don't think Purdue's going to beat them, but I'm just saying that they can be had. The defensive backfield is hot garbage, and I'm just going to say it's hot garbage juice. Yes, it's bad. I mean, it's pretty bad. It can be had. And I think teams that throw the ball, that typically throw the ball, are going to exploit them. And if you can stop their run game, Peyton Thorne, he can be had. I mean, he leaves a lot to be desired. He's not very good. I don't care what anybody says. Peyton Thorne is no. He's good versus Western Kentucky. You know, he's great against those teams, Youngstown State, but against Michigan or somebody that actually has a stout defense or a decent defense, Peyton Thorne looked real average out there. I was like, man, he looked real pedestrian today. But again, I think going into next week, though, Michigan should get the win versus Indiana. I think they'll be eager to come back out and to redeem themselves after tough loss to a rival. It's tough, but I think we'll come back out and we'll be more confident knowing that we could throw the ball down the field. And I think we always knew we could throw it down the field. It was just, you know, McLemore has played well in his time starting here at Michigan. And I think we got to give him more credit because we just haven't had consistent quarterback play. So to get this from McLemore is huge. Everybody's like, well, he threw that interception. Listen, that was a great play made by Michigan State. They were in cover 2 man they were in man all game and a cover 1 essentially, and then that last series they went into a zone, and that was great. Again, goes back to coaching. That was a hell of a call to put his team in a cover 2. And the thing about it is, I said it to my wife before it happened. I said, if Michigan State is smart, they'll go cover 2 or cover 3, look to disguise it like they're in man, to bait Michigan because Michigan was pass heavy at that point, and that's exactly what they did. I was shocked that they didn't get in the zone earlier, but maybe they felt like it was the right time to do it, and it was. It was, and again, it goes back to coaching. Coaching, you got to put your kids in the right position. If there's evenly matched teams playing, coaching is going to be the difference maker in the intangibles, and that's ultimately what Michigan State has over Michigan. Michigan State has won 10 of the last 14 meetings versus Michigan, so there is a shift in the power paradigm, and Michigan fans, we got to accept that Sparty has our number right now. They've had our number for quite some time, so I don't know what we need to do. We get rid of Harbaugh. Who do we go get? Who do we go get? We go get Mel Tucker? That was a joke. But anyway, who do we go get? You know, I we're gonna call Urban Meyer. He in Jacksonville. Can't do that. Who we gonna call? I don't know what the answer is. I know Harbaugh. I'm kind of tired of his khaki pants wearing so. But yeah, I think we'll bounce back versus Indiana. We'll get the win. I expect we put up about 30, 35 points, probably 35 to 14 maybe. We should put 40 on them. We really need to have a breakout game to get that bad taste out of our mouth and losing to our rival because that's never easy. After that, we got a road game versus Penn State. That's going to be tough. Penn State's got a really good team. They fight. They're tough. It's not going to be easy. But I think if we play our game, we don't make those mistakes, we should beat them. Then we'll have Maryland on the road. Maryland plays hard. Get up on them early, we should be fine. And then the game, the Ohio State University, we have those sucking ears or suck eyes, whatever you want to call them. They'll be coming to Michigan. So my prediction for the end of the year, I think Michigan will win all of their games until they get to an Ohio State game, and we will finish the year at 10-2. I believe Ohio State wins the Big Ten. They'll beat Sparty, and they will beat us, and they will go to another Big Ten championship, and we will be going to the Citrus Bowl. So that wraps up another segment of my podcast. I'm the host, St. B by AB. Check out all my other podcasts, and also I do music, so check those out if you're interested in any kind of music. I do hip-hop, rap, singing, whatever you want to looking for in terms of that genre. Check me out. Signing out.